Okay, it's 1 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. The proceedings of this meeting will be recorded and made available on the internet. Now we can move on to item 1.2 of our agenda, which is roll call. And I'll ask our clerk, Jesse Clark, to please call the roll.
Thank you. Mayor Lamsad, are you present?
I'm present.
Deputy Mayor Armstrong?
Present.
Councillor Franzen?
Present.
Councillor Braybrook?
Present.
Councillor Cadigan?
Present.
For staff, we have Michelle Wilson, CAO.
Present.
Donna Taggart, Director of Finance, Treasurer.
Present.
Steve Brockbank, Director of Emergency Services.
Present.
Dylan Kosh, Director of Recreation and Facilities.
Present.
Evan Grieger, Director of Public Works.
Present.
Eric Gay, Director of Building and Planning, CBO.
Present.
Bianca Dragicevic, Deputy Clerk. Present. Derek Bertram, Planning Technician.
Present.
Nate Glassbergen, Recreation and Facilities Coordinator.
Present.
Chastity Robertson, Deputy Treasurer.
Present.
Adele Arbor, Planner.
Present.
And Jesse Clark, Director of Corporate Services, Clerk, is present.
Okay, thank you very much. We have a full complement of staff today. That's wonderful. Thank you. Okay, now we can move on to item 1.3 of our agenda, which is land acknowledgement and moment of reflection. We respectfully acknowledge that Trent Lakes in Peterborough County are located in the Treaty 20 Mississauga territory, in the traditional territory of the Mississauga and Chippewa nations, collectively known as the Williams Treaty First Nation, which include Curve Lake, Hiawatha, Alderville, Scugog Island, Rama, Beausoleil, and Georgina Island First Nations. Trent Lakes respectfully acknowledges that the Williams Treaty First Nations are the stewards and caretakers of these lands and waters in perpetuity, and that they continue to maintain this responsibility to ensure their health and integrity for generations to come. We will now take a moment to reflect on these principles and our duties and responsibilities as members of council. Okay, thank you, everyone. We can now move on to item 2 of the agenda, which is the approval of the agenda as circulated. I would entertain a motion for same. Councillor Franzen for a mover. Councillor Cadigan for a seconder. Any conversation about the agenda as circulated? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Now we can move on to item 3 of the agenda, which is disclosure of pecuniary interest. If any member of council has a pecuniary interest on an item on the agenda, please disclose it now or anytime during the meeting prior to discussing anything that on the item you have a pecuniary interest in. I'm seeing no hands. We can move on now to item 4 of the agenda, which is adoption of minutes. Item 4.1 is our regular council meeting from June the 2nd, 2026. Anyone be prepared to make a motion? Councillor Cadigan.
Motion to receive. Approve.
Okay. Deputy Mayor Armstrong for a seconder. Any conversation about those minutes? I'm seeing none. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Thank you. We can move on now to item 5 of our agenda, which is committees and boards. Item 5.1 is liaison reports for council, boards, and committees. Does anyone have any reports? I'm seeing none. So we can now move on to item 6 of our agenda, which is our statutory public meeting pursuant to the Planning Act. I would entertain a motion to suspend our regular meeting and go into our public meeting for the Planning Act. Councillor Cadigan for a mover. Councillor Braybrook for a seconder. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. We are now in a public meeting, and I think Derek Bertram, our planning technician, you have a preamble, please.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Lamshead and members of council. This is a public meeting under Section 34 of the Planning Act to consider an amendment to the Municipality's Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw, B 2014-070. A notice of public meeting for today's applications containing prescribed information was circulated to all landowners within a 120-meter radius of the subject lands at least 20 days prior to this meeting, and a sign was posted on the subject lands in accordance with the Planning Act. The notice was also mailed to all prescribed agencies, public bodies, and persons in accordance with the regulations. Anyone wanting to be notified of any decision from today's public meeting must either inform myself or the clerk, and the notice of passing will be mailed out to them, setting out the method of manner in which appeals may be made to the Ontario Land Tribunal. If a person does not set in written comment prior to the passing of the bylaw or make an oral submission at the public meeting, that person may not be entitled to make an appeal, to appeal the decision.
Okay, thank you very much, Derek. Now, can you please introduce the file?
Excellent. Today's first file is Zoning Bylaw Amendment 2608, submitted by Agent Jamie Hofling of One Community Planning for owner Kevin Biles for the property located at 53 Fire Route 89. The purpose of the zoning bylaw amendment is to fulfill a condition of provisional consent for files B11924 and B12024 for the creation of 2 residential lots fronting on Northern Avenue. The property in which the proposed lots are being severed from is currently zoned rural under the municipality's comprehensive zoning bylaw, and as the proposed lots are undersized for the continuation of the rural zoning, staff have requested a condition of provisional consent that the proposed lands be rezoned to rural residential to support residential development as both the proposed lots shall meet the minimum lot size and frontage requirements for the zone classification. There's a planning report on today's agenda, which is in support of the rezoning. Comments from the Deputy Chief Building Official and Senior Project Coordinator Pete Hines from the County of Peterborough have been received with no objection to in respect to the creation of the proposed lots. And that concludes the summary of this zoning bylaw amendment 2608. I return the floor back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Derek Bertram. Okay, is there anyone in the gallery for or against this application? No one there? Is there anyone in the virtual gallery for or against this application?
I'm seeing no hands.
Seeing no hands. Okay, does anyone on council have any comments or questions? I'm seeing none. Everyone must have read that detailed report and you've got all the information we needed in there. Thank you very much, Derek Bertram. We can move on now to item 6.2 of our agenda.
I do have a hand raised now from
Oh.
Jamie, so
Okay,
I will
please do.
enable your mic and you should be able to unmute Jamie.
Hi there. Sorry, that button popped up out of nowhere, which is a nice feature. I'm just wanting to introduce myself and let council know that I am here in support of the application. If there were any questions of me, I'd be happy to address them. But
Well,
we
thank you very-
support staff's recommendation.
Okay, thank you very much, Jamie. I think we were beyond that part. We've already have no questions. So
Yes.
I think all the information that was available to us answered all our questions. So thank you very much
Thank
for
you,
being
Your
online
Worship.
for us. Okay. Now we can move on to item 6.2 of our agenda. And Derek Bertram, our planning technician, can you please speak to the file?
Thank you. And for our second file, we have zoning bylaw amendment 2610 submitted by Greg and Karen Lenny for the property located at 82 Fire Route 213. The purpose of the application is to amend the subject land special exception zone, shoreline residential private access 126, to permit the construction of an 11.89 square meter open air attached deck and a 10.6 square meter covered entryway. The special exception zone SRPA 126 was approved by bylaw B 2024-065, resulting from the approval of zoning bylaw amendment 2407 for a replacement dwelling in the water yard. The proposed open air deck and covered entryway shall be located on the roadside opposite to the lake, and the proposed amendment shall reduce the established setbacks to the westerly interior side yard and southerly exterior side yard. However, staff have determined that the request to be minor in nature, due in part to both the amended setbacks are still within keeping with the minimum setbacks for the shoreline residential private access zone, and that the proposed uses are accessory in nature. Comments from the Deputy Chief Building Official and Pete Hines, Senior Project Coordinator from the County of Peterborough, have been received with no objection to the proposed amendment. And that concludes the summary of the zoning bylaw amendment 2610.
Okay, thank you very much, Derek Bertram. Is there anyone in the gallery for or against this application? Someone put their hand up. Okay. No, is there anyone in the virtual gallery for or against this application?
Seeing no hands.
We're seeing no hands. Okay, does anyone on council have any comments or questions? Seeing no hands. Anyone in the gallery have any comments or questions? Seeing no hands. Okay, thank you. We can now move on to item 7 of our agenda, which is business arising from a statutory public meeting. I would entertain a motion to reconvene our regular meeting. Councillor Braybrick for a mover, Councillor Franzen for a seconder. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. We are back into our regular council meeting, and we can move on to item 7.1. Derek Bertram, our planning technician, would you like to speak to this item, please?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Lambshead, members of council. Once again, there was a public meeting held to file 2608. Municipal staff are recommending the following: that council receive the report from the planning technician and planner for zoning bylaw amendment file 2608, and further, the council support zoning bylaw amendment file 2608, in which staff have prepared a bylaw which is on today's agenda for council's consideration.
Okay, thank you very much, Derek Bertram. Anyone care to speak to this item, or is it prepared to make a motion? Councilor Braybrick, go ahead.
Make a motion to receive and support staff's recommendation.
Okay, do I have a seconder for that motion? Deputy Mayor Armstrong for a seconder. Any further conversation? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. We can move on to item 7.2 of our agenda. Derek Bertram, our planning technician, would you like to speak to this file, please?
Absolutely. Through you, Mayor Lambshead, members of council. Once again, there was also a public meeting held to file 2610, and municipal staff are recommending the following: that council receive the report from the planning technician and the planner for zoning bylaw amendment file 2610, and further, that council support the zoning bylaw amendment 2610. Staff have prepared a bylaw which has deleted and replaced the existing bylaw B 2024-065, which is on today's agenda for council's consideration.
Okay, thank you very much, Derek Bertram. Does anyone on council have any comments or questions, or is prepared to make a motion? Councillor Franzen, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll make the motion. That council received the report from planning technician regarding the zoning bylaw 2610, and that council support the zoning bylaw amendment file number 2510 or 2610.
Okay, thank you very much, Councillor Franzen. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Cadigan for a seconder. Any further conversation about the item? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Okay, thank you very much, Derek Bertram. Now we can move on to item 8 of our agenda, which is presentations. We have none. Item 9 is delegations. We have none. Item 10 is staff reports. Item 10.1 is public works, and item 10.1.1. Evan Krieger, our Director of Public Works. Would you like to speak to this item, please? Change your name for today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mayor Lambs. Through you, Mayor. Members of council, before you today is just an update about the Buckhorn Fire Hall and Public Works Depot. As you can see through the pictures, project is progressing well. For any of you that have been through or past the site recently, we're starting to see siding going up along the sides of the building, so it's quite exciting. There's been some interior plumbing done, interior electrical conduits, so we're progressing quite well, and still on schedule to be in the building before the winter season. So Steve's here to answer any questions if you have any.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I did drive by it and seen a lot of siding on already. That was good. I was in the parking lot. I got some funny looks from the people that were putting the siding on.
I'm probably used to seeing you, but
no one likes to. Yeah, that's true enough. Fair enough. Okay, anyone else have any comments or questions regarding this? Go ahead, Councillor Berger.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor. Thanks very much for the update, Evan. Just for clarification, when you say increase, you're just being literal, that it's just an increase. It's not that it's over budget.
oh yeah, no, that's yeah. Sorry, through you, Mayor Lambs, and to John Braybrick. Yep, to Councillor Braybrick. That just means like the increases we've spent more because we've got another PC. So every month you're going to see an increase, but it's not like the budget has increased. It's just our spending has increased because you're paying for the work that's been done.
That was for the benefit of the residents. They called me, and I did explain that it's, I think it's just a literal term. So are we still within our budget?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, through you, Mayor Lambs,
Yeah.
Councillor Braybrick. Yep, we're still within the approved budget.
Great. Thanks so much.
Good. Excellent. Thank you very much for the report. Certainly appreciate it. It does look large and behind that other building, doesn't it? Taking up some space of our parking area. Thank you for the report. Appreciate that. Did we take a motion? Okay. Is anyone prepared to make a motion for that? Deputy Mayor Armstrong, go
I'll
ahead.
make a motion to receive that report.
Okay. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Franzen for a seconder. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Thank you very much, Evan Greer. Now we can move on to item 10 of our agenda. Item 10.2 is recreation and facilities. 10.2.1 is Nate Glassbergen, our recreation and facilities coordinator. Would you like to speak to this item, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of council, and through you, Mr. Mayor. The report in front of you is just to provide an update on the revised memorial donation policy for the municipality. So just to provide a quick update on what has been changed. We've changed some of the wording through our policy and changed some of the items and assets that we offer. So to start, we have our basic bench has been changed to a 4-foot bench. The price has been increased to reflect inflation and the cost for installation. It was previously the basic bench. It was not a popular choice, so we've changed it to a smaller version of the more popular upgraded bench. We've changed our upgraded bench to a 6-foot bench, so we changed the price again just to reflect this change in size. Again, renamed to distinguish the bench sizes. We've removed our accessible picnic table and we've added in a regular picnic table. We've determined that we've reached our adequate inventory of accessible picnic tables, and staff believe there's no more room for non-accessible or for accessible, sorry, but we can have room for accessible, non-accessible tables. We changed our list for our basic and upgraded tree options, basically reflecting the maintenance and staff availability and feasibility for having them in our parks. We've also added in our new engravable brick options to the list this year through Sandy Beach for our main area for engraving. So if there's any further questions on that, I'm happy to answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Nate. Anyone have any comments or questions? Councillor Cadigan, go ahead.
So your Mayor Lamb said the engraving bricks, they're going to Sandy Lake Beach, are they?
So we currently have, thank you, Cadigan, through you, Mr. Mayor. We do have currently some of the engravable brick installed there. That would be our main site. We're hoping to expand that further on into 2027, 2028.
Thank you.
And Deputy Mayor Armstrong, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks very much. Thanks very much, Nate. Certainly support this and thank you for doing it. I have no line of sight to how many donations we get. Do we get a lot? Do we get very few? Do you have a rough ballpark of those?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor, and through you, Mr. Mayor. I don't have a for sure number for you right now. I would say that it's a fairly low number at the moment. We have seen some increased interest into this year, so the hope is that with this revised policy, we can get those started this year and hopefully have them in before the deadline of August 31st, as outlined in our policy.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other questions? Councillor Cadigan, go ahead.
Comment if I may.
Sure.
Recently, there was engraved bricks installed at the Cabinet Community Center. I wanted to thank Nate and staff for installing that. Matt, great job. Looks good. We waited a while. Nice to have it done.
Thank you, Councillor
Thank you.
Cadigan.
Okay, thank you very much. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, is anyone prepared to make a motion? Deputy Mayor Armstrong, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you. I will make the motion that we receive the report and that council approve the amendments to the memorial donation policy as attached.
Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Cadigan for a seconder. Any further conversation about the item? I'm seeing none. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Thank you very much, Nate. We can move on now to item 10.3, which is fire and emergency services, which we have none. Item 10.4 is building and planning, and 10.4.1, Derek Bertram, our planning technician. Would you like to speak to this item?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor and members of council, today before you is the final report for Gallery on the Lake in relation to zoning bylaw amendment 2111, which was a condition of consent file B4921 for the creation of a new lot on Fire Route 21. The last meeting for this application was held on January 15th, 2025, which provided an update on the status of the zoning bylaw amendment, official plan amendment, and consent file, which was authored by the municipality's planning consultant, Chris Jones. Staff request at that time was to defer the zoning bylaw amendment approval until the official plan amendment was approved and the consent application had been administered. Council supported staff's recommendation to defer the approval under resolution R2513. And staff are now in receipt of approved official plan amendment number 55 and consent application, which outlined conditions for provisional approval, all of which have been satisfied with the exception of zoning bylaw amendment. And to that end, staff have included bylaw B 2026-048 on today's agenda for council's consideration, which has provided the retained and severed lots special exception zones to recognize existing structures and to recognize lands identified as environmental protection. And that concludes the summary of the report.
Okay, thank you very much, Derek. Does anyone have any comments or questions for you? Seeing none, is anyone prepared to make a motion? Councillor Cadigan, go ahead, please.
I'll make the motion that council receive the report.
Okay. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Brayberg for a seconder. Now, any further conversation? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion is carried. Thank you very much, Derek. Okay, now we can move on to 10.5 of our agenda, which is finance. 10.5.1 is Chastity Robertson, our Deputy Treasurer. Would you like to speak to this item, please?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Lambshead, before you is a report regarding a council remuneration and mileage review. After reviewing the data, staff have provided 4 options for consideration. Option 1, CPI remuneration increase and fixed biweekly vehicle allowance. Option 2, CPI remuneration increase and mileage claim for mileage outside the municipality only. Option 3, CPI remuneration increase and mileage remains the same. Or option 4, status quo. Staff are recommending that council implement option 1 as staff have determined that council remuneration for all members is at or close to midpoint with the municipalities compared, and an annual remuneration increase based on CPI would maintain alignment with surrounding municipalities. In addition, a fixed biweekly vehicle allowance will be more efficient administratively and budget-wise. Staff are recommending that council receive this report and that council directs staff to bring forward the necessary bylaw and policy amendments to implement option 1, CPI remuneration increase and fixed bi-weekly vehicle allowance. And this would be effective November 15th, 2026.
Okay, thank you very much, Chastity. Does anyone on council have any comments or questions? Councillor Franzen, go ahead.
Yeah, I like option 1, except for people that are on the CAO committee. two members of council that are on the, because my mileage is always 100, 120, 160, sometimes up to 200 kilometers. So $49 or whatever the recommended amount was, certainly would be a decrease in my costs. If there was an exception just made for the two members of council that are on the Committee of Adjustment, I could support option one.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Councillor Cadigan, go ahead, please.
Through you, Mayor, I will speak in favor of option one as well. I think that it would be easier for me to have it automatic than doing paperwork for 12. And then secondly, I think it would average out on the months. Not being on that committee, I'm not aware of the trend.
Just responding on that committee, you put in quite a bit of mileage. Sometimes it takes you 6 or 7 hours to do all of the site visits, and they're generally all over the municipality.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Lamstead, I may just provide some clarification on the council expenses. Currently, it's budgeted in there, and you have never gone over for your yearly amount. So this would still be included within the 1508 that's budgeted annually for council currently.
But the recommendation was that we get paid twice a month.
Bi-weekly, and it would work out to 1508 annually.
Because my mileage in the last on what we have today was $411.
Sorry, go ahead. I'm just wondering, does Committee of Adjustment get paid outside of this, or is this just for council activity, like conferences and such? I'm not sure if that would be above this or not.
Through you, Mayor Lamstead, this would include the amount budgeted annually includes driving to Committee of Adjustment properties.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Deputy Mayor Armstrong, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm certainly in agreement with Councillor Cadigan. I cannot imagine how many hours are spent in sending us reminders, reviewing all of our expense reports, correcting things that we may have done improperly, posting it, paying it. I think we would save a considerable amount of time, and staff would be happy to be rid of it. So I think it's the absolute right way to go. Other municipalities do it. We're not setting any precedents here. So I certainly think that option one is the right way to go.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? Councillor Braver, go ahead.
Thank you, through your Mayor. Chastity, just a question where it's, so our current allotment for the 5 council members is $2,016.67 across the board. Is that correct?
Sorry, through you, Mayor Lamstead, can you clarify? Sorry, I'm not understanding what you're saying there.
So the current structure is that each council has for their yearly allotment $2,016.67 that goes towards mileage and the like. Is that correct?
Through you, Mayor Lamstead, it's each councillor member has $2,200 allotted for their mileage.
I think the number you're referring to is the only in the election year, because it's for only the 11 months of the year for council.
Okay, so the 2,200. I'm through you.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm in favor of option one as well to streamline things, but I'm not in favor of the reduction in each amount, and I would like to keep it at 2,200 paid bi-weekly. And I know over time it hasn't been completely spent, but I think everybody on council is sort of holds back, and whether it be for optics or otherwise, but it'd be nice to have that available. So I would support option one, but maintaining 2,200 per council.
If I may, through you, Mayor Lambshead, I'd also just like to add in and go back to Peter Franzen there. Looking at last year's total, he was under the suggested $1,508 amount spent.
Okay.
Through you, Mary. No, I understand that, Chastity, and again, it's I'll speak for me personally. I would have easily gone over that allotment 6 months into the year. So, but I've chosen not to, but I just don't want that option taken away like year after year. If I only spend 200 of the 2,200, I don't want that reduced by 2,000 and just giving me the 200, right?
Councillor Franzen, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'd just like to make one comment. I know mine was 1,500, but I think we're making this decision for a future council because it does start in November. And I haven't put in all of the mileage that I qualify for very often. If it's a low amount, I don't even bother to put in a claim for it.
I'm not going to make a comment because you've seen how I put in my money. Go ahead, Councillor.
Yeah, sorry, through you. I agree with Councillor Franzen's comment there. All I'm saying is we're being good stewards and we're being fiduciary about it. We're our own checklist, and that savings is existing anyway. If we don't spend it, it's still a savings. It doesn't have to be written in stone now to reduce that. I would like that available under option one.
I think I agree with you. I think that this council and probably any future councils would appreciate that amount because you do a lot more driving than you put mileage in for because, you know, people call you and you go and see them and it's only a few kilometers down the road. So you just don't even write it down. But last March, I put more than my whole allotment for the year on my truck in March alone. So. Okay. Deputy Armstrong, go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor Lambshead. I think I've been persuaded that we should keep the full $11,000 in the budget. It's a difference of $1,500. So it's really peanuts here. And so to keep the $2,200 per counselor available and pay that out automatically, I think is probably the best sort of compromise, if you will. If you'd like, I'd make the motion that we support option one, changing the fixed amount to $2,200 annually for each council.
Okay. Thank you, Deputy Armstrong. Do I have a seconder for that? Councillor Braybrook, any further questions? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Thank you very much, Chastity. We can move on now to item 10.5.2 of our agenda, which is Donna Taggart, our Director of Finance and Treasurer. Would you like to speak to this item, please?
Yes, thank you, and through you. So before you is an annual update required under Ontario Regulation 588-17 relating to progress under the municipality's asset management plan. So at the June 4th, 2024 meeting, Council approved an updated plan prepared by Hemson Consulting. This update was prepared to meet two regulatory requirements due June 1st, 2024 and June 1st, 2025. So the next requirement under this regulation is under Section 9, which relates to an annual review of progress made under the plan. The update must include progress, factors impeding the municipality's ability to implement the plan, and a strategy to address these. Hemson Consulting did prepare the update, which is attached to this report. This work was undertaken at no cost to the municipality as staff were able to take advantage of a program funded by the province through MFOA to undertake this work. So under this update, you will see that there has been an increase of $40.5 million in asset replacement values since 2024. Factors impeding progress under the plan include increasing costs due to inflation, economic uncertainties, and tariffs, and a lack of committed funding from other levels of government. Another factor is the increase in operating costs for Aqua at the water system. which impacts the ability to increase the water rates. A strategy to address these is to continue to improve inventory data and replacement values to better inform decision-making and to continue to budget annually to put money into reserves for future replacements. Another strategy is to continue to request assistance from other levels of government through committed funding and applying for any available grants for asset work. So the request today is that council receive the report for information. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Donna Taggart. Anyone have any comments or questions for Donna regarding this item? Deputy Mayor Armstrong, go
Yeah,
ahead.
thanks for Lance. I don't know if you can answer this, Donna, but on page 92 of the agenda, it shows the replacement value of our assets in 2024 and the replacement value in 2026. And the value is an increase of 16%,
Yes.
which is roughly 8% a year, which is high. And I understand changes that we've seen in both labor as well as equipment and so forth, but what's behind that 16%, if you are able to explain that?
Right. So that through you, that replacement largely relates to the new build at the 49 and the increased value in roads. So it's all of the work we've done since 2024 with inflation added on it for future replacement.
As usual,
Yeah,
you answered my question. Thank you.
Yes. Any further questions, Deputy Mayor Armstrong?
No.
No? Okay. Councillor Cadigan, go ahead.
Through you, Mayor Lamstead, I have a question about the assets that are in poor and very poor condition. I think I know which ones they are, but I want to make sure they're not critical assets.
Right.
I assume that they're the buildings that we're looking at replacing in the future.
So thank you, and through you. Actually, it more relates to culverts.
Okay.
So culverts are in the inventory based on the age of the culvert and the useful life. So some of them may be getting to the end of their useful life, but still functioning well. So they do show in the poor section. So it's mostly, buildings are definitely not at the critical stage, but definitely at the for replacement stage. So it's mostly culverts, and it's based on age instead of actual condition. It's difficult sometimes to dig and look at them all.
Thank you.
You're
Culverts seem to be popular today.
Oh, is that
Yes, they do. Okay, any further questions? Councillor Braybrook, go ahead, please.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. I not to jump on Councillor Cadigan's coattails, but I did prepare a comment. I'm interested in the 27% of fair, poor, and very poor, with the fair holding the highest percentage of 24%. Would staff be able to provide a council with a breakdown of what assets are represented in these three categories? Doesn't have to be today unless you
Right.
have that at the ready. And if I'm not mistaken, these three categories represent approximately $80.9 million of the overall $208.5 million.
right? So through you, yes, if you're okay with that, I can provide that information to you. But yes, largely relates to culverts for sure. I would say almost 80% of the assets are good to very good, which is good. But yes, I can provide a better breakdown for that, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A further question? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
through you, Mayor. Just last one. Under the Ontario regulation that's mentioned in the report, it says each and every year. When I was reviewing it, I only saw references to 2024. Did I miss?
Sorry, through you. In the regulation,
The 588/17 requires annual reviews of asset management progress, and it says on or before July 1st of each year. And just all the reference in the report was to do with 2024.
okay, so through you. So the last update provided by Hemson was in 2024.
Right.
And the requirement under the regulation had a requirement in 2025 as well. So then from 2025 on, it's annually the update as shown in this report. So I'm not sure, it's definitely something that's in the regulation that we have to do. We did receive some information from the Treasury Group about that as well. So yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
So you're thinking maybe perhaps through you that the references in the report are 2024 or in
Yes.
the actual regulation that,
No, no.
okay,
Yeah, through you, Mayor. I'm just recognizing that it's a requirement under that regulation
right,
each and every year prior to July 1st.
yes.
So this is 2026, almost July. And 2024, where's 2025?
Through you. 2025 had a requirement as well. So that was not the annual reporting under that. Now that that one is done, the 2026 is the next step, which is the actual annual reporting. Last year, I think it was something on the non-core assets, levels of service. I don't list it, I think, in my report or in the attached document. It gives a progress of what is required every year. But this is the first year for the annual update with the thinking that the province is thinking everyone is at the stage that they reported all their assets now, core assets, non-core assets, levels of service, that type of thing. And now you have to report annually how you're doing on the plan.
Thank you.
No problem.
I just noticed that our chief building official is doing some exercise over there, stretching out that
Shoulder.
surgery arm and shoulder. Want to make sure you're okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay.
Good job.
Okay. Do you have any further questions, Councilor Brewer?
No, thank you, Mayor.
No? Okay. Any other council members have any further questions? I'm seeing none. Is anyone prepared to make a motion? Councilor Franzen, go ahead.
Motion to receive the report.
Okay. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councilor Cadigan for a seconder. Any further conversation about the item? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Thank you very much, Donna Taggart. Now we can move on to item 10.6 of our agenda, which is administration. We have none. And 10.7 is corporate services. 10.7.1, Bianca Dragicevic, our deputy clerk. Would you like to speak to this item, please, for the last time until next year?
Well, maybe next month.
Okay, maybe next month.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Lamstead. Before council are the expenses submitted for the month of May for council's approval and authorization.
Okay, thank you. Is anyone, go ahead, Councilor Rayburn.
Motion to approve.
Okay, do I have a seconder for that motion? Deputy Mayor Armstrong for a seconder. Any further conversation? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Thank you very much, Bianca. Now we can move on to item 11, which is notices of motion. Does anyone have a notice of motion? I'm seeing none. And we can move on to item 12, which is correspondence for information. Would anyone like to speak to any of these items? Deputy Mayor Armstrong, go ahead.
A motion to receive all of them.
Perfect. Do I have a seconder?
Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, a seconder, and then I wouldn't mind pulling out 12.1 just to
Okay.
make a brief comment.
Okay, sure. So we can, that'll be for the remainder of our items for information, okay? Any conversation about the other remaining items? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. All, Sorry.
You're still receiving it for information, right? You just want to comment on it? Okay.
I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Now, would you like to comment on item 12.1?
Sure. Thank you. And through you, Mayor, I had a conversation with the coordinator of this initiative, Gary Giroux, who advised me that when all is said and done, there may be in excess of 60 abandoned docks in the Channel Lakes included in this initiative. He also advised me that the waterfront property owners are becoming aware of this initiative and have offered their services to retrieve and deliver abandoned docks to the designated drop-off locations. It bears repeating that I certainly appreciate these updates and especially appreciate the efforts the Cavendish Community Ratepayers Association are making to mitigate the expenses incurred during this initiative by negotiating with local marinas, area disposal services, among other entities, all of whom have provided assistance in kind, reducing expenses, further promoting the sense of community and its commitment to our environment. So I really appreciate it. There's a lot of, I know we got the updates, but there's a lot of effort going on by a lot of volunteers in our community. So a perpetual thank you to Cray. I'll just shorten it up. So.
Well, thank you very much for them comments, Councillor Raywick. That's greatly appreciated by them, and I'm sure the council and all the ratepayers. I mean, this is a great initiative to clean up our lakes, so thank you. Okay, that is your comment. Now we can move on to item 13 of our agenda, which is correspondence for action. Like to speak to any of these 4 items? Is prepared to make a go ahead, Councillor Baber.
Motion received.
All 4 of them? Okay. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Deputy Mayor Armstrong for a seconder. Any further conversation? I'm seeing none. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Now we can move on to item 14 of our agenda, which is bylaws. Item 14.1 is, well, we can do them all at once or we can do them one at a time. It's entirely at the, Councillor Cadigan, go ahead.
Motion to approve all.
Okay. Do I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Franzen for a seconder. Any further conversation about any of the 3 bylaws? I'm seeing none. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Now we can move on to item 15 for announcements. Does anyone have any announcements? Councillor Franzen, go ahead.
Yeah, I have an information item. I was able to attend the concert in Galway Hall featuring 2 guitarists and 6 guitars and mouth harmonica. They were doing Neil Young and Gordon Lightfoot music. I just, there was a Facebook post from one of the musicians, and I'd just like to quickly read it. The theme was "Oh Canada," Canadian music and Canadian desserts, and it was a wonderful evening. Heartfelt thanks to you and to the Kinmount District Health Service Foundation for bringing "Oh Canada" to the beautiful Galway Hall last night. Larry Shepherd and I absolutely had a blast, sharing the songs of Gordon Lightfoot and Neil Young with such wonderful community audiences. To everyone that came out, your energy was everything. The singing, the clapping, the pure love of Canadiana in the room made for a truly special evening. We hope the night helped raise some well-deserved funds for our local health team. Until next time, Kinmount, thank you from the bottom of our Canadian hearts.
Thank you, Councillor Franzen. That's a very, very nice announcement or update.
A
They
beautiful
appreciate it.
evening.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for attending.
Proud to be Canadian.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, any other announcements? I just have one. We announced yesterday through the province of Ontario and the Minister of Education that the Buckhorn District Public School will be getting a $6.4 million addition. So it'll increase the amount of students by a little over 90 people and probably 48 daycare spots. So it's quite an improvement for the Buckhorn Public Schools.
Yeah.
That was just announced yesterday by Deputy or MPP David Smith, and thank you to David Smith for all of his advocacy for Trent Lakes and Peterborough County. Yeah. Any other announcements? Okay, we can move on to item 16 of our agenda, which is closed meeting. I would entertain a motion to go into closed. Councillor Cadigan for a mover, Deputy Mayor Armstrong for a seconder. Before I call for the vote, we are going into closed on the authority of the Ontario Municipal Act, Section 239(2), to discuss B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, municipal employees, and C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, lease, and D, labor relations or employee negotiations, municipal employees. These are the reasons we are going into closed under the authority of the Municipal Act, and I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. We are going into closed. Now move on to item 16.2 of our agenda, which is rise from close. I would entertain a motion for same. Councillor Cadigan for a mover, Councillor Brabert for a seconder. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion is carried. We are out of close. Okay, we can move on to item 17 of our agenda, which is business arising from our closed meeting. Item 17.1 is the adoption of the minutes of our May 19th, 2026 meeting. I would entertain a motion for same. Councillor Brabert for a mover, Deputy Mayor Armstrong for a seconder. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. Now we can move on to item 18 of the agenda, which is the adoption of the confirming bylaw. Item 18.1 is the confirming bylaw. I would entertain a motion to adopt same. Councillor Cadigan for a mover, Councillor Brabert for a seconder. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. And we can move on to item 19 of the agenda, which is adjournment. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Councillor Braybrick for a mover. Councillor Franzen for a seconder. I will call for the vote. All in favor? That motion has carried. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, staff. Thank you very much for everyone who attended virtually and physically, and thank you very much to council. We are adjourned.